Hey guys, what is cracking? Somebody give me a 5 for 5. Sorry about that dead air there for a second. Had trying to get rid of all the background sound that's around here. I have my laptop sitting on it's a laptop stand, but there's a fan underneath it that keeps it cool, and I think it's too loud. So let me know uh, what the audio sounds like, please, if you would, and then I'll get going here. I do want to make this one fairly quick because I know Marv and Adam and Dex are getting ready to go live here in just a few minutes. I'm sure this is about the time that they go live. So I'm trying to sneak this one in. And also, guys, please go check out Trinity Red Pill, Blue Pill. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. I shared it out, so hopefully you guys got that. But she did a live stream a little while ago. Go over and check that out. Show her some support. It's always good over there. So anyway, audio is good. Okay, you guys don't hear like any kind of rumbling noise or just a small little anything, because I do have a fan way in the background, so I'm hoping it's not picking it up, and I don't think that it is, but I just want to double check. So if you could let me know that would be awesome. Thank you, Full of Hope. Another gifted membership. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. And thanks to everybody else that's a member. I'm going to be doing a members only stream tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but all this stuff started happening, so that's why I didn't. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. I'm also going to be doing a card giveaway. And I'll explain that here in just a few minutes after we get through the space weather. And there's some pretty cool looking cards. So, I mean, I do think that, you know, it's going to be a neat thing for everybody. They're pretty unique. They're Sunspot. That's what they're actually called. And they're bicycle. They're really good quality. And I've talked about it a little bit before. But so let me go ahead and just jump into this. Hey, TNAZ, thank you again for the membership. Love it. Thank you. Really, truly do appreciate that. Everybody tell him, hey, Siggy got him a free membership. There you go, Sig. What's up, brother? Daryl got one. Lots of people getting them. Love it. Love it. You guys are awesome. So, with that being said, and again, TNAZ, thank you so much for the support. Really do appreciate it. Alright, so now I'm going to get into the space weather, guys. I'm not going to really pay a whole lot of attention. I will stop and say hi to you guys about halfway through. And I do want to apologize. Anybody that's seen an ad, like midstream, on the one I did earlier, that was my fault. I hit the wrong button. Didn't realize I had. And it's right next to the button that you want to hit. So I hit the wrong one. I was in a big hurry. So I do apologize. I pinned a comment underneath that video. I will not run mid-roll ads during the live stream. You know, during the replays, a little different. It's up to them when, you know, YouTube decides that. But yeah, so during my live stream, I hate that. Oh my gosh, I was embarrassed I did that because I hate that happening to anybody. So, all right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it now. Obviously, right? I mean, we got Geomagnetic storm, okay? I talked about this earlier today, and I knew that they were going to come out with an update because that's what they do, right? They don't just leave it wrong. They get more data, they change it. And that's what they should do, okay? So what we're looking at here, guys, is again, a G3 storm. And this was, I won't say it was completely unexpected that we got hit with anything. But I will say that this is way stronger than anybody was thinking it would happen. Okay? And I'm not kidding about that. There was nowhere, I mean nowhere, absolutely nowhere anybody was talking about a geomagnetic storm like this. Okay? And with that being said, it does go to what I've talked about here during Solar Maximum, is the fact that we're so inundated with eruptions. There's so many of them happening all over the sun that it becomes very difficult to forecast those. And, you know, and even these two that hit us, and again, I'll go more into detail here in a minute, but you can see that got us to G3. Now, one thing I do want to do is take you guys first thing to a boring graph, okay? But it's the only way I can really explain it in the detail that I need to, okay? So we're going to start here with the space weather conditions. This is exactly what happened, right? I talked about this in my earlier stream, and you can see where we went, the BZ went to -6. That's what we looked for. -6 or further negative. It went way negative, okay? So when that happens, it doesn't take a whole humongous hit, okay? We're in a position magnetically that we just accept all the stuff that's coming at us. And vice versa is true when we go to the positive. Now, do you see this? I showed this earlier. This direct right back to up into the positive where we were actually deflecting geomagnetism. So, and we still do even in the negative, it's just not as much. Okay? So let me just clarify that. But you can see we went up and then right back down in there, up again, and then we kind of dipped down here. So what had happened, and I was thinking it was just one CME at first. I was wrong. I was going to just flat out tell you that. I was wrong. It was two. It was a double hit. And you can clearly see that right here. That's why you're seeing a very distinctive going back up into the positive on the BZ. Right? So with that, with these two different CMEs hitting us, and I'm not sure if they were actually a full-blown hit. I think both of them were actually kind of glancing blows. Okay? So when the second one hit, we didn't really have a whole lot of time to recover. So that's probably why it went back up into G3 level storming very, very quick. Okay? Now you can see how everything's just starting to calm down now. And that's actually what we're seeing. It's starting to level back off. Now, again, I usually show you guys this one, and that's the KP, right? That's the indice we use to measure geomagnetic activity. So a KP of 5 is a G1 storm. Well, we got into the 7, which is a G3. They consider that a strong storm. Anything above that, you're talking about G4 is a severe storm. G5, I think they call that extreme. So, and it stops at G5, but it's G5 plus when we start talking about like Carrington event stuff. And that's not what I'm talking about here, okay? We're nowhere close to anything like that. So don't nobody get kind of, scared or anything about anything like that. That's not what happened. So, again, if that is going to happen, I'm going to say that right off the start, okay? And I probably won't even be able to come out here and tell you. Because if it is going to be a significant, like, big time, most likely grid down type of stuff, I'm not going to have time to come out here and tell you. For a couple reasons. Number one, it's probably going to be here very, very quick. And I got to take care of my family and my house and all that stuff, right? So I probably won't have a whole lot of time to be doing any of that. And the fact of the matter is, on events like that, it's going to probably come from an eruption that gets here in 12 to 15 hours. That's a fast mover, okay? And it's probably going to be high dense. And this is a great opportunity to show you guys that when we talk about a grid down situation, it's most likely going to be something like this, just way stronger. It's most likely going to be like a double or a triple hit. Okay? That's why. And the reason why is this dead space in between. We don't have enough time for our magnetic field to recover. It's really that simple. Okay? So you can imagine, especially if it's a really hard hit. And again, this -6 is just a default that we all look for. It doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't guarantee a geomagnetic storm. It doesn't guarantee that we're not going to get one. It is just one of the main factors that plays into it. So if we're going to get a geomagnetic storm and we see the -6, the possibilities of what we're talking about is going to be kind of high, right? So that's what I would say. Now, um, let me go over here for just a second. Guys, I switched over to a different laptop. I'm trying to use this one now. So I am having a little bit of a learning curve here. So I apologize if it's kind of a little janky. I did fix the blur. I actually had messed up a window on that. So just to let you guys know, I do pay attention to you guys when you say stuff like that. And I try to fix things. So I appreciate all the comments. Seriously, I really truly do. Okay, but just like this is the KP, right? This is a 3-hour average. That's what they show here. We can go look at this this German site, and what are we looking at? This is the HP, which is basically the same indice, except it's just a 30-minute average each time it plots a point. You can very clearly see what happened here. It doesn't get more evident than that. We went up, back down, back up, basically the same time frame, and back down. And we're trending down right now. There is a chance we could go back up into storm level. I don't see that happening right now. But things could change, right? That's why I nowcast. But if you're going to ask my opinion, I'm going to say the biggest part of this storm is probably over. But we are expecting another one on the 4th. So, you know, it's stuff like that that we need to talk about. So let me just take you guys over to the magnetopause model. Sun is off to the left. This is all the solar weather moving from left to right. And what you're looking at there is the Earth, obviously. And I'll go into more detail here in just a second as I run these movie tools. Now this is velocity and velocity only. This is showing you how fast things are moving. Okay? Now, you see the darker reds, that means -6, that's 600. That's high. That's a high speed, right? That's what this model is showing. Now, when you see the positive 600, guess what? It's moving the same speed as the negative 600. It's just moving the opposite direction. That's what that means. That's magnetic polarity in action right there. Okay? That's the orientation it takes. So oftentimes we'll see the 600 on the backside because we get reconnection points. We get reconnection events when we get hit. So we'll get hit, it'll break some of those magnetic lines, and then when it reconnects, all that space weather that's back here in our magnetopause gets drawn right back here. That's why you see that right there. That's a reconnection. So, yeah. And you can usually watch it. You'll see we'll take a decent hit here in the front, and then it'll, very shortly thereafter, it'll break that line, and then you'll see that reconnection happen fairly quickly. So it is what we would expect. It's that simple, guys. We expect to see that. Now, this is density. Now, again, this only shows up to a certain level of density, right? So and the reason I say that is because it can only show this darker blue. It can't go any denser, right? That doesn't mean that the particles aren't more dense than what it's trying to represent. We have to keep that in mind. Also, it looks here like our bow shock is down. The bow shock is our first point of contact. Solar wind, space weather with our magnetic field. That is the bow shock at the first point of contact. It looks like it's not there, right? Well, it is. It's just the density is the same on one side as it is on the other. Because this is showing density. And I know I stress this quite often, but I need to because people get confused on this and they start saying things that just are not happening. Because they don't understand the model. And for me to prove to you what I just said, that the bow shock, because the bow shock doesn't look like it's there, does it? So let me prove to you what I just said. I'll back it up. See how it's gone? Looks to be gone, but check this out. What's that? You see that? That's the bow shock. Why did it show up? Well, because some of the particles have got a little less dense out here in the front. That's why. The bow shock is still there. That's my point. If the bow shock's not there, that means either our sun is completely gone or our magnetic field is completely gone, and that's a really bad day for everybody here on planet Earth. I promise you that. So, now I'm not saying it can't go down for short periods of time during humongous events. It ain't going to be something like this. Okay? So I just have to stress that. But, okay, so let me take you to the Australian model. This is the same model as this. Okay, it's just a different visual. Here's the satellite line. I love this model. I know I say that a lot, but I do. I mean, it just really does do a great job. It's so simple to understand and look at than trying to show people this one and try to explain everything I just explained. Now, for somebody that understands space weather at a greater level, I've been doing this for a long time, so I can kind of understand this pretty easy. But it is a cool visual. It does give you a better idea, like in a three-dimensional way, right? Now, this one is just a two-dimensional, to-the-point kind of model. It is what it is, right? So you got your speed, density, and everything there. The BZ is even there. Okay, so you're seeing compression, and then you get rapid expansion. And you see how our bow shock kind of even bent in? That's a clear indication, hey, we got hit with some stuff. So sometimes this gets in between, the Earth and gets inside the satellite line. It exposes the satellites. That's one of the things that can happen, and it causes extra drag to the satellites, and they can't steer them. It makes they do steer them back into place, but what I'm saying is it makes it harder. Okay? So, just point that out. Now, let me, there's the data there. Okay, I do want to talk about Aurora. Okay? Now, first thing I want to say, this is their forecasting again, right? So you got a G3. That's already happened. We know that's going to happen. Already did. Okay? Well, actually it hasn't. I thought that was the second. So I was wrong in everything I just said right there. Just about this forecasting. They're still forecasting us to be at a G3 level this first plot point. But do you see what happened here? That didn't happen. We dropped out of storm level. So, with that being said, and then they said we should be at a G2 for the next 6 more hours, and then another 3 hours of G1 conditions. But we dropped out of magnetic storming a few hours back. And we can get more real time, like I said, right here. See how, when I'm talking 30-minute plot points, why this is so different? We get such a great, a better idea of real time of what's happening. So that's what I'm saying here, guys. In my opinion, this right here, if you know what the model is trying to represent, in my opinion, it's better to have this. Because there's times like if they were to show this one, all the time, that's a 3-hour average. What if we only got up into like a 6 or a 7 for 30 minutes? And then the rest of the time in that 3-hour block was like at a 2 or a 3. What's that do? It brings the average down, and when they plot this, it won't be in any kind of storm level. But in all reality, we actually did get to storm level for a short amount of time. That's why I think this one's a better option. So, just me. But what it does do is it kind of gets rid of that odds of it being wrong, right? So if you're taking a greater number of numbers, and you're taking an average from those numbers, the chances of it being correct over long term would be better off to do the 3-hour plot points. So there's plus and minuses to what I just said, right? But for what we're doing, oh crap. You guys see that? We just had an X-flare. Check it out. Look. Not even kidding. Wow. You can't make that stuff up, can you? Oh my gosh. We're going to have to go look at that. We just had a stinking X-flare. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. All right. Well, that kind of surprised me. If you can't tell, my gosh, you guys might want to share this real quick just to get everybody to watch this because yeah, that just happened, guys. I'm a little taken aback right now. I really am. That I didn't, no way, shape, or form that I think that was going to happen. If you go down here and you look, we had a 15% chance of an X flare popping, but that's, it's elevated, but it's not like wow. That's all I can say. So let's try to find that X flare. All right. Yeah, let's go do that. Wow. I can't even believe that. That blows my mind. Not even kidding. That completely blows my mind. So what I'll do, we may not be able to see it because the data, if it just happened, it may not have enough time for it to show up here on SDO or GOES or SOHO, any of the satellites I show you guys. But we'll see what we can find. Okay. Well, let me just pause it here. What time did that happen? Well, what time is it right now? 10:30 East Coast. Add 4 hours to that. What is that? Oh, goodness. 2 o'clock? 2:30? Something like that, UTC. So, yeah. So, let's see if we can't find that flare. That's crazy. That just blows my ever-loving mind right there. I'm serious. That blows my mind. I was live and it happened. Wow. Okay, so if we can come here and we're missing it, I think. Right on the edge, guys. Look. Look. I bet it happened right here. Let's see if I'm right. Okay. I can't call that an X flare. But what I will say, you do have some crackling going on right there. I don't think, I think if, that was at 3, no, that was right at the turn of the day. So I think if we waited about a half hour, I bet you that would show up. It might not be something I'm going to be able to show you right now. At least not on this model. Give me a second, guys. I'll see if I can't find it. What I will say, these sunspots, they're acting like they're sympathetic again. What that means is they're communicating with each other and they're erupting at the same time. So if all these erupt at the same time, that means that it would put us into a higher X-ray condition. And we can't tell which X-rays come from which sunspot when it's flaring like that. So who knows? If they're all flaring at the same time, even though it looks small, we could still be experiencing X-flare type of X-ray. And what I mean is, you see how we only get one little point here? So if all those sunspots are producing X-ray, it could raise the level up. But that's pretty impulsive. So my guess is that's not what's happening here. I would almost bet you, I'd bet a ton right now that that's coming from either one sunspot, maybe two, all at the same time. Now, that's not a gigantic X-flare, so don't nobody getting all crazy here on me, okay? What I'm saying here is the fact that that is an X-flare. So we're going to have to see if we see any CME with it also. I almost made a video today explaining what the difference was between a flare and a CME. Now I wish I had. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a drink. Mouth was dry. So let's I'll keep refreshing these as I move forward here, guys. So if something if we are able to catch it before my live stream's over, I'll be able to show it to you, but because I'm not seeing anything showing X-class anything here yet. So and again, it may be one of those that it literally just now happened. You guys seen it. Okay, see how it says 217 right there? I think that this is not 217. I think that's closer to 230. So we're going to have to wait and see about 10 minutes. So let me move on, and we'll come back and see if we can't find that. Hey, Mr. Agan, good to see you. Hey, it's good to see all them green boxes right there. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Okay, what I'll do while I got you guys here, please don't leave. I'm going to try to keep us going where there ain't no dead air here. But I want you guys to understand that why I'm doing it. Okay? I'm going to see if I can't keep you guys here so I can show you the X-Flare before I end my live stream. But if Marf goes live, I'm going to kill the live stream. Okay? Because I want everybody to go over there. But as you can see this is the Aurora. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't really been watching the chat, guys, so I apologize. What I will say, if Ilea's here, she loves Aurora. She likes to try to go out and see them. She lives in an area of the country where she might be able to catch them. She's far enough north that she can see them sometimes. I'm not going to say where she lives and all that. That's up to her to do that if she wants that out there. But I say that because she's always on top of this Aurora thing. And it's a great thing to be like that. And the reason why, if you're getting increased Aurora, you're most definitely getting geomagnetic storming. Okay? That's what happens. Stuff comes in on the poles, right? It gets in easier. It starts to interact with oxygen and nitrogen. Oxygen will turn stuff green. That's your green Aurora. Red typically is nitrogen. And those kinds of molecules, they hang out in different elevations in our atmosphere. So it allows us to have a better understanding of how deep this stuff is getting in. Okay? So, and when you see Aurora, it's not the actual exciting part of space weather hitting these molecules inside our atmosphere. What you're seeing is, after it hits, it's going back to its nominal state, to where it's stable. In that process of going from excited back to normal quiet, that's when it gives off the color. And that's just something that, I've picked up that from listening to a lot of other people. And that's true. If you go research it, that's how Aurora is. I didn't know that until probably about a year and a half ago. I just assumed it was just space weather smacking into these particles, and that was it. But so why does that matter? Well, it does and it doesn't, because it can throw the timing off on you. Okay, so imagine if it was making the colors as it just hit versus a few minutes later. So it can jack your timing all up. So yeah, it's an X1 flare, Eve May. Yeah, we just did. It is an X1 flare right here, and it does look impulsive. And while I'm saying that, you guys see how the next point here, it does look like it already came down. So what that's telling me, it doesn't look like this. If the X-flare looked like that, I would be a little bit more concerned. And the reason why, these impulsive flares tend to just be flares. The CMEs don't always show up. It doesn't always produce a CME when you get the impulsive flares. We've had 1, 2, 3 of these very impulsive. Straight up and straight back down. Hardly anything else happened after that. One thing I can show you is right here. This is the background X-ray flux, okay? And this is in the D region, the absorption model here. And the day side of the planet, you'll see a target light up anytime there's a flare. At least a flare strong enough to show up. So let me pause this, and we'll run this model all the way forward. And you're going to see a couple M flares right there. That's not, I don't think that's the X flare. Okay? Look at your time. Okay, right at the turn of the day. What were we looking at the turn of the day? Well, let's go look. This right here, that's an M flare. Okay, so it's after that. So let me take you back down to this model again. So as we move forward, and then you see this. Wham! There's your X flare right there. So, what are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about loss of radio communications. Wherever that's red, you can bet your butt it is experiencing radio blackout right now. That's just a fact. So I would imagine our friends over here in Australia are having some ham radio issues. Okay? It's just what it looks like, guys. Okay? And you can experience it out this far too. Just the strongest part's right there. Now, if you watch, it already started to dissipate. See? See how quick that was? So, yeah. So let's see if we got enough time now, and we'll go look at this model and see if we can't see this flare. Cause that's at 217. Is it going to give us anything else? It gave us another image. Let's see. Okay, right here, guys. You see that? It's right in front of us too. But I can't tell you if it produced a CME or not. If you see the time, see it says 2:30. And if we back that up, let's go. Hold on a minute. Yeah, that's your X flare. Let me zoom in. It looks to be like one of the least impressive X flares I've ever seen. Look at it. That poor little X flare didn't have much of a chance, did it? Check it out. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's still an X flare. Okay? Now, not because it made this X signature. An M flare will make that X signature. A C flare will make that X signature. It's just how the camera picks up the light. Okay? That's what that is. So, I used to actually think that was, they called these X flares because of that. So, you know, guys, I stepped right off of the, you know, the special bus when I first started doing this, guys. I'm telling you, I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge on this at all. I got a lot of things wrong. But guess what? Because I care enough that I don't want to be wrong and tell people the wrong things, guess what? I learn. And part of that learning process is failing. That's just what it is. I'm not ashamed of that at all. And I hope you guys aren't either when that happens to you. Because you shouldn't be. Matter of fact, that's one of the best, you know, I know, I'm just going to say this. What I will say to this is, I know that Mr. Cosby, Bill Cosby, did his nasty whatever. But I grew up in the 80s and 90s. What did I watch? The Cosby Show. He said something to his son Theo one time on that show that stuck with me from since then. Almost my whole life. He said he would rather have a hard C as a grade than an easy A. I've held true to that ever since I heard that. I just thought that was one of the coolest things I'd ever heard. In other words, he's saying, I'd rather you get a weaker grade and you had to work hard to get it than to get an easy A because you're not going to remember it. That's just how it happens. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so let's see if we can't see this X flare again on a different model. Okay, what time is that? Yeah, we're not seeing it much here. It's right here, guys. So I don't think it produced a CME. I could be wrong, okay? But it doesn't look to be. Let me run this one. Yep, there it is. There's your X flare, guys. So, yeah, I mean, that couldn't happen more dead center. I'll tell you that. That is right there in the Earth strike zone. So if that did produce any type of CME, it's coming at us. I'll just say that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me, man. I'm live and that stinking and had an X-flare where I was live. That's crazy. This is one of the advantages of nowcasting. Because I'm here with you guys just doing it like this, right? I mean, check that out though. That's pretty cool. See how you go from one image to the next? That's 12 minutes. You go from that to that. So why does it look like that? People are probably asking. I didn't look in the chat. But what you're seeing there is just a flood of light hitting the camera. And it's getting overwhelmed by all the light. Basically, it's getting overexposed a little bit. So it causes this fuzzy look. But you can definitely, yeah, there you go. So let's, I tell you what we can do though. Let's go up here. And I'm going to go over here. I'm not sure how fast this model updates. It's a brand new model. Okay, it's called Zeus. So we're going to read that right there. Okay, it says generated by the MHD code Zeus after the modifications by iPath developers. I'm not going through all that word salad, guys. Okay, I know what it's saying, but I'm not going to sit there and try to explain all that right now. The CME is a hydrodynamic Gaussian perturbation injected at 10 R's on top. You know, I'm not going to keep going all that. I'm just going to tell you what this is trying to say to you. And then if you want to go research it, please do. It says the dashed line, well, it says CME shock used to accelerate particles along the parameters on the left are evaluated. Okay? So what that's saying is this model, we'll just get one up here right here. That's what they're talking about. The compression ratio, the shock speed, and all the above. So if we go down here and we put this movie tool on, and you can change what triggers this CME tracker. You can change it between a CME and a flare. So what we're going to do, we are going to change that to flare because that's what we just had. Well, the flare. So let's see if it shows anything. It might. I don't know. Let's see here. So what we got there. Yep. There you go. Now that's a flare, right? So maybe it's thinking there's a CME there too. I don't know. Don't know yet. We don't have enough data. Let's change that to CME and see what we get. Let's see if it gives us the same kind of... Yeah, it's not updated enough there. Let me just do that. Yeah, it's not picking that up. That's about 12 hours behind. But if we change it to flare, it's showing us more. There's the big one that is give us a glancing blow. The big one I showed you guys from a couple days ago. The one that's supposed to be giving us a glancing... This is what's supposed to be giving us a glancing blow on the 4th. Okay? So if I take that there, I do believe that could be from that X-flare. Because it is right in the front. I don't see anything else other than that. So we're just going to have to wait and see as data comes in, guys. There's not much more I can do on that end of it. What I will do, though, is this. Let's go back here to this. And we'll pull up another SDO here. And we will run the movie tool. Okay, that was your X-flare again. But what we're going to do is we're going to change this to the 131. It's another part of the light spectrum we can't see with our eyes. Okay? And there it is again. And oftentimes you do get a better look when you start looking at different gases. That's what we're seeing. Different gases. They show up in different parts of the light spectrum. Okay? So yeah. You're not oftentimes going to see somebody go live and an X-flare happen while they're live and they just stop what they're doing and start talking about it. I guess I'm just that guy. I don't know. I don't know. Wow. That's all I can say. It really has taken me aback a little bit here. I completely was not expecting that at all. But what I will say, it doesn't look like it produced much of a CME, if any at all. Okay? And again, I think I had already said that because of how impulsive this was showing. Straight up, straight down. Okay? And as a matter of fact, you can see where it says R3. That's an R3 radio blackout condition. That's the first part of an X flare. That's the lowest level of radio blackouts for an X flare. Okay? Latest observed, R1, which means the X-rays are already dissipating enough that we're down to an R1 level. That's how quick these flares hit, do what they're going to do, and then they kind of tail off. Okay? Our X-rays just start dissipating, and it's not hitting us like that again, at least right now. So, but why is that important? Why is all that I just said important? Because when it's affecting radio propagation, it's affecting first responders, okay, and a lot of other things. We still use ham radio operations and those frequencies of radio to communicate with our emergency and first responders, and multiple other things, right? Most places now have both GPS and this old style of radio propagation, the ham radio stuff. And the reason why is, you know, when one's down, you can just switch over to the other. It really is like that, guys. Okay? But what I will say, I don't think that, yeah, none of these models are going to be up to date. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen that fast, guys. But what I will say, that definitely was an X-flare. Now, so what I'm going to do now, guys, if you guys got any questions, please let me know. But also what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do. You want everybody to listen to me. Because tomorrow, when I come live, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I want everybody that's listening to me, even on the replay, come back, leave a comment. Okay? And what I'll say is this. I'm going to take the amount of comments that I have, and I'm going to put that into a random number generator. Okay? And if your number comes up, then I'm going to, that's how I'm going to give away the deck of cards. And, I wonder if I could show you what they look like. Give me 1 second, guys, and I will. I'll show you exactly what these things look like. Let's go here with that. Now, what I want to do... Oh, man. Huh. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Because I'm on a window capture on OBS, so I think that... Where's that going? That's weird. Hold on 1 second, guys. What the heck is that thing doing? Okay, whatever. Not really sure what's happening there, but whatever. I'm probably not gonna be able to show them to you, but I'll show them to you tomorrow. I have pics of them, so we'll get to that tomorrow. So anybody that comes back and leaves a comment, I'll know who you are, and I'll put all those numbers in, and I'll hit my number generator, and I'm gonna give away 2 packs tomorrow, 1 of each. I got I'll give away 2 of the Sunspot ones. They discontinued them in 2018 and they are bicycle cards. So if you go online, you can get a picture of them. But I can show them to you. Let's see here. Let me do. I know what I can do. Okay, I know exactly what I can do. Let's do it this way. Right here. You see this? That was a members only live stream. You see those decks of cards right there? Those are the ones I'm giving away. This one right here is the one that's been discontinued. Okay? So keep that in mind. That's the ones I'm giving away. I have all these other decks too. And I'm going to be giving those away also. This is something I'm trying to get back to you guys a little bit. I'm also going to do it in the members live stream also. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So come back and leave a comment. And you'll get a chance to win this deck of cards. I know it's not a whole lot, but it's all I can do right now, guys. And it is, they are cool. I've had a deck of these for years now. And, yeah, they are really cool. And my wife did a great job, went out and found some online. They don't make them anymore, like I said. And she found a whole brick of them. So, she's awesome. That's all I can say. She really is. I would not be here if it wasn't for that woman. I promise you that. She's my best friend. Been married to her for over 30 years. Wouldn't change 1 second of it. Even the bad stuff. Because it helped me realize what it was good. And, yeah. Alright, guys. I think that's it. Oh, Miss Dragon, yeah. Just come back and leave a comment. Okay? In the comment section. If you come back and leave a comment in the comment section, I'm going to take however many comments I get, and I'm going to put that number into a random number generator. And if your comment was on that number, you get the cards. I'm going to give away 2 decks like that tomorrow. So, hopefully you guys can, hey, Wages World. You guys catch that? I did that on purpose. Anyway, hey, what's up, Rampage? Enigma, what's up? Yeah, come back to this live stream after it's already posted, Enigma. And after it's over, come back and leave a comment. If you do that, then you'll, whatever number you fall in line there, I'll give these away. So, but I am going to go ahead and pop off. I think Marf is probably live by now. Yep, he is. As a matter of fact, I think he's just now getting ready. Yep, he's been live probably for about 10 minutes. All right, guys, I am going to pop off. I don't want to take from that. He's helped my channel out way too much for me to sit here and step on his toes, for sure. All right, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and yeah, you can drink this Kool-Aid.